Hey everybody, this is Cave Cat here with another episode of Cave Cat's movie and TV reviews. For today's episode, it's time to talk about an animated series that serves as a spin-off to a Tim Burton film featuring the ghost with the most. As you might have guessed, it's Beetlejuice. A little history. In 1988, Tim Burton directed his second feature film after directing Pee-wee's Big Adventure, that film being Beetlejuice, which starred Michael Keaton as the titular character. For those who don't know, Beetlejuice told the story of married couple Adam and Barbara Maitland who end up dying in a car crash while they were out for a drive. Once that happens, the two gradually begin to discover that they've been turned into ghosts, at the same time that their house becomes the new domicile for a family called the Dietzes, consisting of Charles, his wife Delia, and their goth daughter Lydia. So it's up to the Maitlands to try to drive the Dietzes out of their house, having to enlist the help of Beetlejuice, an expert bioexorcist, who, inspired being skilled at scaring people, is also revealed to have rather questionable intentions, to say the least. Of course, the film proved to be so successful that a year later in 1989, Warner Brothers, which distributed and released the film, would team up with Nelvana to produce an animated spin-off series of Beetlejuice. So yeah, this is actually the second time that I'm reviewing a Nelvana animated series, following The Magic School Bus. The series first aired on ABC for the first 3 seasons before it underwent a channel hop to Fox as a part of the Fox Children's Network block for the 4th season, and this was before the block changed its name to Fox Kids. However, this series is way different from the live-action film. While Beetlejuice himself and Lydia, as well as Lydia's parents Charles and Delia, are retained as main characters, the Maitlands have been completely omitted from the series, with Beetlejuice instead filling their role as a friend and protector to Lydia. Not to mention that the film's version of Beetlejuice is rather sleazy with non-conformative intentions, while the animated version of Beetlejuice is slightly more amiable, albeit a mischievous prankster compared to his film counterpart. But to be honest, this version of Beetlejuice is actually more likable and more willing to do the right thing than the antagonistic version from the film. But anyway, aside from Beetlejuice and Lydia as the main characters of the series also features new characters such as Ginger the tap-dancing spider, cleverly named after Ginger Rogers, Jacques Laline, a French skeleton who specializes in lifting weights, despite not actually having any muscles to do so, the monster across the street, who often acts like a cowboy due to coming from the West, his pet dog Poopsie, and also Doomy, a sentient car who is basically the pet to both Beetlejuice and Lydia. So how's the show itself? It's actually pretty dark and surreal, but in a good way. While the live-action film was pretty dark and had a lot of black comedy moments, this show also has some black comedy as well, but in a more light-hearted fashion than the film. I also like the fact that the show made clever use of various forms of wordplay, sight gags, and elusiveness, as well as doing parodies of famous movies, TV shows, and even books. One episode even doing a parody of Brigadoon, with the village in that episode called Brinkadoon as a pun on the play that the episode is parodying. And there's also the running gag that whenever Beetlejuice would utter a figure of speech, he would turn into a personification of said figure of speech. One good example of this that I can think of is when Beetlejuice says that he loves being a couch potato and ends up turning into a potato while lying on the couch. I don't know why, but I just find myself fascinated by whenever someone or something is personified in an animated show or movie. There's not really much else for me to say about Beetlejuice, except for the fact that it still retains the dark and comedic nature of the live-action film. So just for that, the Beetlejuice cartoon gets 7 stars. Ta-da! So just a while back, I heard that the Beetlejuice film is actually getting a sequel. Though to be fair, after the original film was released, Tim Burton did have plans for a sequel called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, which supposedly followed the main characters going to Hawaii. Unfortunately, nothing came from that due to the fact that both Tim Burton and Michael Keaton, who played Beetlejuice in the original film, ended up working on Batman instead. And it took roughly and nearly 30 years, but a sequel to Beetlejuice was finally greenlit and is now currently in production, set to be released in September of this year. After hearing this news, it makes me wonder how a Beetlejuice sequel will work out after the original film and especially the animated Nelvana series. Only time will tell, as the old proverb goes. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Cave Cat's movie and TV reviews. As I keep saying before, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more episodes, or whatever video that I might come up with next in the proverbial future. So until next time, later!